Hello guys, what's up？ 是不是发现学了很久的英文，但是我们的口说能力的话，还是稍微有一点点的弱？那针对不同英文水平的小伙伴可能会遇到的提高口语的问题的话，我今天采访了我的英国朋友 Beth。那为什么会邀请 Beth 呢？是因为 Beth 本身的话也学了2门的外语，一门是西班牙语，一门是法语，而且都几乎接近了母语的水平，所以他非常懂得就是学习一门外语，甚至要提高到母语水平的各种心理历程和学习方式。那让我们一起来听一听他今天给我们带来的英文学习的建议吧。
Here we focus on too much exam-oriented study and we spend less time on speaking. That actually leads to our weak speaking ability. So I would like to invite you to share your valuable suggestions for improving oral English. And I will jump into these questions. Is that all right?
Yeah, the questions that you sent me.
Yes. So for the first one, do native speakers really care about the non-native speakers making mistakes or have a local accent?
I think it depends on the context that you are in. I think like if it's just a relaxed environment, like you're out with friends or you're just having a drink or you're at a party, people won't correct you, and as long as you are communicating your point, they will gloss over any little mistakes.
Okay.
And I think generally anyway, British people are quite reluctant to correct people who are speaking English
Yes.
if they make a few mistakes, because as you know, generally British people don't speak other languages, so we don't feel like it's our place to correct you, and we couldn't do a better job, so we just let mistakes slide generally. So I would say we don't really care about mistakes, because we think, well, for example, if I'm speaking to somebody who I know is originally from China and their native language is Mandarin, I don't speak a word of Mandarin. So it's not my place to correct them in English, because I appreciate the fact that they have gone to so much effort and put in so much time to learn my language, and so if they make a few mistakes, I don't care.
Okay. So for casual occasion, it's quite okay, but for business, what do you think? If on business occasions, I have a quite strong accent or make lots of mistakes, what do you think about that situation?
Yeah, again, I think in a business, maybe like in a business situation, you might be judged a bit more. But again, I think I always say this to my students, the most important thing is communication. I would rather you be fluent and make mistakes rather than like speak really slowly and speak perfectly.
So what are your suggestions for, improve their speaking skills significantly?
As much as possible, speaking with natives.
Yeah.
Also, like if you have a group of friends, for example, and you're all learning English, just to meet up and say, right guys, for half an hour we're speaking English and we're helping each other, we're correcting each other, and just like supporting each other with your language learning. I do a lot of talking to myself.
I do as well. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so like I'll just be, I don't know, lying in bed or in the shower, and I'll like have a fake conversation, and I will try and formulate sentences in my head.
Yes.
And be like, oh, so if somebody said that to me, would I be able to respond?
Yes.
Like talking to yourself, it sounds sad, but like it's just practice. But also like vocabulary is so key. And you need to make it like, it needs to be a daily, if you really want to take language learning seriously, and trying to use it as well, like so once you learn a word or you learn a phrase, to like have it there in your brain and say like, right, next time I'm speaking to someone, I'm gonna find a way to say that phrase or find a way to say that word in a conversation, because it's, you need to repeat the words and say the words and listen to the words and see the words in order for it to stay on the brain. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have the words to use, you can't make a sentence, you can't communicate. So vocab is so essential. Watching films helps you with pronunciation and helps you with like expressions that people use a lot.
Okay, so that actually leads to another question. Do you have any suggestions for the TV series or movies for different level learners?
You might feel stupid doing this, but I feel like it's very, very helpful. Especially for beginner level learners. Disney films. When I was younger, I watched the same Disney film over and over and over again. And so I know the story. I know even like what all the characters say. I know I can quote lines. So then when you watch it in another language, you already know kind of what the characters are going to say, but then you're hearing it in French, or you're hearing it in English, or you're hearing it in German or whatever. So Disney films and children's programs, and even if you're an adult, like, don't feel stupid. Like, you can watch like a children's cartoon maybe for like 15-20 minutes, just a short episode, and just like pick out the words that you hear but you don't understand and look them up, or and just also like watching the same episode again and again to try and see if each time you understand more and more.
Another question I do really want to ask, because some English learners, their level are pretty much advanced, and they do really want to forward their speaking levels into native level. For these students, what is your suggestion for them?
So in order to become native, you need to speak to a native. There's only like, for example, like, because I teach Spanish, for example, there's only a certain level of Spanish I can teach up to before I say to them, right, you need, in order to get that even higher level, you need to just go to a Spanish person who will help you. If you go to a language school or an academy, for example, and you have an English native teacher, that's incredible. And like, capitalize on that, try and speak to them as much as possible. And it's also just like putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. By that I mean because everybody's quite good about talking about themselves and talking about day-to-day things, but push yourself and have an in-depth conversation with someone about politics or about global warming or about things that are quite complicated and complex and require higher level language and higher level thinking. You will probably feel uncomfortable, and you will probably feel, oh my goodness, I don't know anything about this topic, but that will just make you have to use the language that you already know even more, and it will give you more vocabulary.
Thing is, for me, I feel like I've been trying all the time for at least 3 years to really push myself into that level, but I still feel like I stuck in the middle. And so that's why I really want to listen to your opinions about how to really close the plateaus.
Yeah, it's difficult because when you first start learning a language, you make a lot of progress.
Yes, it's
Very
like this,
quickly.
like a hierarchy.
But then the more advanced you get, the slower the progress is.
Yes.
And yeah, you sometimes feel, I know this, I sometimes feel like I'm not even getting better. I feel like I'm getting worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but you are still making progress, especially if you're listening to it and reading it and trying to do something related to the language that you're learning every day, without even realizing you are getting better. Like your brain is getting used to listening to those words, like, and you won't realize it, but your brain won't be working as hard to understand, or you will be better at understanding or quicker to understand, or you will be quicker to formulate sentences or to think of words. You won't realize it, but we all feel like we get worse when we are quite advanced in a language. But yeah, obviously, if you don't put in any effort to learn the language, you probably will get worse.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
It honestly, I always say language learning is one of the hardest things ever, because
Yes.
it's a daily struggle. It's every day you have to do something to maintain the level that you have.
Yes.
And if you just forget about it, your brain will also forget about it. So it is effort, but it's worth it, because everybody knows that feeling. It's such a nice feeling when you have a conversation with someone in a different language, or when you are able to go on holiday and communicate with a native person in that country. Like it's the best feeling in the world. And so yeah, if you like thrive on that feeling, and if you enjoy that feeling, which I know I definitely do, that's why I continue every day to try and improve on my language.
Oh, I think I have already asked all the questions for today. And thank you so much for all these great suggestions. And I would like to have you for another time.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine by me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye,
Bye.
Bye.
以上就是今天分享的全部内容了。大家可以综合 Beth 介绍的学习方法和自身的一个学习习惯，就是建立一个属于你们自己的更高效的提高英文的方法。I will see you on my next video. Bye bye.